Hello and welcome to the final episode of Feedbackula, a show that I am definitely cancelling of my own volition, being sound of body and mind, and definitely not having been influenced by anybody other than myself in my decision to end the show, even though it still does good traffic. How was that?
Again?
Yes, folks, we've come a very long way, but now it's the very final episode of Feedbackula, a show that
has been a pleasure to make from start to finish. I have enjoyed my time working on it very much. I love the company and the people and know that they will continue to create awesome videos.
Coming up this week, feedback. There's a fucking surprise. Some of you suggested I make the last episode of Feedbackula about Feedbackula, featuring comments from people who didn't want the show to end. But to be honest, that would have felt like a cheap shot. I have some journalistic integrity, you know. Instead, here are some comments I made up about bees.
I like bees. They're so much more productive than wasps.
Bees are shit! They only sting once and then they die, lols. It's just like EA and DRM. Enjoy your replayability, morons! Everyone knows wasps are the better option.
You wasp users are like so elitist. You talk as if you're the bee's knees, but everyone knows it takes ages to build a proper hive and you have to upgrade it like every year. Give me beekeepers any day.
Bees! Bees! Bees!
Johnny!
Yes?
Come on, man. I know it's the last episode, but you should at least try to have some form of meaningful discourse.
Do I have to?
Yes. Why not try talking about Facebook buying Oculus VR instead?
Okay. So Facebook bought Oculus VR this week, makers of the Oculus Rift. Here's what you had to say.
Makes my decision easy. Buy the PS4 one, lol. I will not have anything to do with Hatebook.
Well, there goes virtual reality gaming.
Well, this is just terrible news. Goodbye, Oculus. I hardly knew ye.
A Facebook-powered Oculus Rift? No thanks. I'd rather stick my head in a bucket of bees.
Bees!
Johnny!
No, you know what, Greg? I'm not playing this game anymore. It's the final episode of Feedbackula, and I finally got a chance to say what I want without worrying about the repercussions. You know what? I'm going to fucking say it. People of the internet, I want you to know.
The final 2 minutes of the last episode of Feedbackula, described at the time of broadcast as a masterful piece of programming the likes of which had never been seen before and likely never will be again, was sadly lost forever in the great toast fire of 2368. A fact made even more tragic by the fact it was the last footage ever shot of Johnny Chiodini. The bearded genius, peerless among broadcasters, was never seen again following the incident that rocked the world. Now, 400 years on, Cameron Robinson, multi-billionaire inventor of the Genesis machine that ensures people can perpetually live in their mid-20s as long as they keep feeding it stray cats, and the rest of the Feedbackula team talk about their experiences on the show for the first time.
Which characters did I play? I guess mainly it was just my voice.
Well, I think my favourite one was always to be the kind of the Scottish guy who was really podsy about everything. He was like, oh, well, you know, I think that was my favourite voice, to be honest.
This guy, who was kind of a cross between Alec Guinness and Stewie Griffin, and nobody quite figured out exactly where the voice came from or why it existed, but that was largely me.
Well, I mean, I played so many people. Loud man, angry loud man, really angry, super loud angry man, and yeah, they were great times, weren't they, back then? Everyone was so angry all the time.
Well, I mean, I know full well why Feedbackula came to an end, because the show is about having a voice. It's the voice of the people, and when you're physically unable to speak like Johnny could by the end...
Johnny's health was always a roller coaster, and his hygiene was the big dip.
The recurring thing is, I'm just surprised that a human being could walk after so much methamphetamine.
To be honest, I didn't really like Johnny. I always thought he was a bit of a dick, particularly as everyone kept getting me and him confused. Although I will say, I will never look at a tin of baked beans again after seeing that crushed pelvis.
We tried, we we flirted with the idea of doing it, you know, without Johnny, but it just wasn't the snark. There wasn't enough jokes. It just wasn't right.
Feedbackula may now be a distant memory to the people of Earth, but for those of us rich enough to afford Genesis machines and a healthy supply of stray cats, the memory lives on.